Hello, I'm Mike Moore. It's time for our monthly podcast from Rockingham Community College. In our studios, Valerie Bowers, Program Coordinator Faculty for the Criminal Justice Technology Program at RCC. Hey, Valerie, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. We've talked before, but it's been a while. So let's kind of get an update first on you, Valerie Bowers.
Valerie Bowers. Wow. What can I say? So I am originally from Lincoln County in North Carolina.
Sure.
And I am a transplant to Rockingham County, but it very much feels like home. My background, of course, is in criminal justice. I went to Appalachian State University for my undergrad, and I minored in sociology and psychology, and my major was in criminal justice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was told that I absolutely had to go to John Jay College of Criminal Justice in Manhattan if I got the opportunity to go.
Okay.
And I did. And I went, and I loved it. I specialized in criminology and deviant behavior. And then I came back to North Carolina, and I ended up receiving specialized training in forensics. So not forensics like CSI forensics, but forensic interviewing and mediation. I worked with sexual victimization crimes and specialized in that area. And I did investigations and assessments and mostly worked with juveniles, but also alleged perpetrators.
You have worked in so many, you've done a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot, but that's what happens in criminal justice is you end up getting involved in so many different areas because of the overlap.
Yeah. How did you get interested in this, Valerie, personally?
To be quite frank, I had several friends, acquaintances growing up who had been victims of sexual abuse and or rape, but they never reported those offenses. So just wanting to be the voice for those who didn't feel like they had a voice, that is really what propelled me towards a criminal justice degree. Initially, I had thought about law, and I did work for a while in the prosecutor's office when I was in college in Gaston County. But I decided after working with the investigator that I really wanted to work with the people and not just the paperwork. And that's what kind of led me towards going to John Jay and focusing in that particular area of study.
Mm-hmm. It seems like a lot of things never get reported, but we're seeing more, though, of women coming forward and reporting things. It seems in the media anyway. Is that true?
Well, there's something called the dark figure of crime, and that is crime that goes unreported that we will never know about. But because of surveys and just actually using social media and people's influence saying, hey, we want you to speak up, that has helped. But even still, I found in my work, and it has been a little while, but even now it continues, where people hold such a shame or they have concerns about sharing because it's actually people that they know. It's usually acquaintances or it's usually family members. And who's going to want to tell on someone, and they feel like they're telling on someone who has hurt them, that is actually someone that they care about and should care about them.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for the work you're doing. Tell us about the programs that you offer at Rockingham Community College.
So we have an associate's degree in criminal justice, and we have actually been in the works to transform that degree a little more to meet the needs out in the field. So this year we have added a few classes that are going to be coming up in the fall. So things like counseling, because you do somewhat of what I consider pseudo counseling. Now there is a limit to what you're able to do, because at some point you have to say, if I do not have my master's in counseling, I have to stop, right? But you need to understand those concepts and how to speak with people. We're also looking at crisis intervention and adding something in that area to assist people, because there are many times, even in my field of what I was doing, where I had to talk people down because of mental health crises, and even to the point of being held at knife point and having to talk someone down for hours for my safety and the safety of a child that was with me. So those are really important, and we're trying to work those into the program. We are going to have some shorter term certificates that people are going to have the opportunity to do that maybe focus more on victim services and crisis intervention. And I think, when discussing that, I would like to say this. Criminal justice, when people hear that, a lot of times they think policing, and it definitely includes policing, but it's a lot more than just policing. There's areas in victim services, there's areas in juvenile justice, law, court work, policing, of course, corrections, substance abuse, reentry programs, even working at social services with child protective services and adult protective services. And there is a plethora of other organizations that you could work for with a criminal justice degree. So when you come into this program, it's going to be a variety of different types of coursework, including forensics, if that's an area that you're interested in. So you're going to learn about all these different areas and how they work together. And then you get to decide, well, what area do I want to specialize in? Because the reality is, as a criminal justice practitioner, you receive lots of training once you're actually out in the field. So regardless of your degree, you end up having specialized training in the area that you want to work in. So we try to cover all these different areas, give people a really good basis for understanding, and then put them out into the workforce. Now, when I say put them out, we actually are trying to help prepare with setting up internships. That's going to be coming down the pike as well, and shadowing opportunities. And the community has been so great in that we have been allowed to go to the courthouse and participate. And the clerk of court's office has been wonderful about facilitating that for us. We've had judges speak to students. We've been able to sit in on cases. The police departments here have been wonderful. Correctional facilities have been wonderful. We've even gotten to go into the juvenile center that has been developed here in Rockingham County. So I really appreciate, and I'm so thankful for all of those in the criminal justice field in Rockingham, because they are so open to our students and helping make this degree program special, different, and to where you can actually see what it's going to be like when you're out in the field, because they're opening their doors for us.
There are more partnerships here than I realize. I mean, really,
Yes.
out in just right here in Rockingham County, so many ways to go.
So many ways to go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about the BLET program, because that's been kind of on hold here for a little while at RCC, but back in business.
It is back in business.
Okay.
Mr. Alan Farrer is over that program. He is the director. It has changed in that it is now 868 hours worth of coursework. So there's 200 additional hours of training that they will have to do. And you have to be at least 20 years old. You're going to be sponsored by a law enforcement agency. You will complete a course of physical examination. You have to have your high school GED or your diploma from your high school and be a U.S. citizen. You will complete the admissions process for the college in order to be a part of that. Now, I do want to make sure that people understand and clarify that BLET is considered continuing education program that is required to be a police officer. And if you're wanting to be a police officer, you're going to need to take that program. But that is technically separate from the criminal justice curriculum program that I teach and that I am the program coordinator for. But there's overlap in that if you take the BLET program, especially at RCC with Mr. Farah, and then you come to me, you're going to get 5 classes worth of credit towards the curriculum degree program with us. And not only that, we have actually set up an agreement. It's called an articulation agreement with Morris Hill University. And we have had students who have been able to go with our 2-year degree, go to Morris Hill. They receive credit for those 2 years, so they only have 2 years left. If they would like to complete a master's degree, they can finish that with just 1 more year instead of 2 more years, which is what's actually required. Okay. And Morris Hill has given extra credit for those who have BLET on top of what they've already given us, which is fantastic. So there's that route, and then we're working on some other agreements as well for the program with places like ECU and different universities in the state, trying to make it an easy pathway for our students. But if you are interested in becoming a police officer, we are a one-stop shop. You need to come on down and we'll help you.
Yeah. When you're saying criminal justice and what you do, there are so many areas here. I mean, really, you can go in all the, and I like the idea that you the way this is packaged, because there's so many ways that, so many things that are covered, and people can get out there and choose what they like.
Exactly. And the thing is, I tell students all the time that with a criminal justice degree, let's say you go out and you start working in juvenile justice and you decide, gosh, I don't really know if this is for me. Well, you can actually transition into multiple different areas now because you have some of the background to do so. And that's what makes this so great and different than a lot of other programs, is that you have options. So you don't have to have every single detail figured out to start with us. You need to just come to me. We'll have a discussion. We'll talk it out. We'll see what classes you like, what you don't like, what you're good at, what you're not good at, and we kind of make a plan from there. And I think that's what is so appealing about this degree, is you have so many different choices that you could make and so many different routes that you could take.
We like options.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. If someone is interested in what you're doing, what's the best way to get in touch with them, with you?
Well, the best way to get in touch with me is to contact the college, and they will transfer you right to my extension or my email, which is Bowers, Bowers, V as in Valerie, 4127 at rockinghamcc.edu, and I can get back with you. I will tell you it is easier to get me via email because I am with students, or I am out recruiting, or I am out speaking to high schools, because we have grown in this program roughly 40% just with high school students alone who are coming to take a certificate through the program as what's called Career and College Promise students that they can do for free when in high school, graduate with a criminal justice certificate before they even graduate from high school, and then apply that certificate to our degree program. So we have students age 16 all the way up into their 50s.
Career and Promise, that's a pretty good deal, isn't it?
Yes, Career and College Promise. They can come and start classes for free, and then those get applied to the program. And I've had many students who've started as high school students who now came as traditional college students and graduated. In fact, last year we had roughly 20 people graduate. That's been the largest class in a while, and I'm glad to see that. I will tell you, though, for those of you who are listening, that if you come, I am tough, but I am fair, and I will push you to be the very best that you can be in whatever area that you go into. And I'm not going to let you quit. I'm going to keep on pushing you hard, because we need people who stay consistent and are persistent. And one of the things that my students joke about is that if you try to hide, I'm going to find you. I'm going to say it's time to come back to class and to get moving and get going, because I like seeing the potential in people, helping you meet that potential, and then watch it flourish once you're out into the world. So when you're no longer my student, I say that's when we can be friends and we can have a coffee and sit down and talk about all the amazing things that you've done.
Oh, I can see that you are just a great person there in the classroom to do what you're doing. So how long have you been at RCC?
I have been at RCC for going on 5 years.
Okay.
I have been the program coordinating faculty for just going on 3 years. And I have taught and worked out in the field. Goodness, I started teaching roughly 14 years ago as an adjunct instructor. I was pretty young at the time, but I was working out in the field at the same time.
Okay. Are there before we finish up, any particular trends that we're seeing in criminal justice?
Women. That's the trend.
More women.
We are almost 80% female in the program. When I was in school, it was all males. I was surrounded by males. That has very much changed, but it's not just in Rockingham County. It's everywhere. That's the trend.
Why has that changed, do you think?
I think that as a whole, we're starting to see the benefit in women in certain areas of criminal justice, in particular, like victim services, and seeing that we're a good balance. We help balance each other out. So females are more likely to go to conversation and talking things down. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes men can be more prone to going to the physicality. So when you have females and males working together, they balance each other out with the physical and then the communicative areas.
Yeah. 80%. That's a pretty big deal.
It's a big deal. And we've also seen a rise in Hispanic students in the program, which part of my family is from Puerto Rico, and hablamos español un poco, pero necesito practicar mucho. So I do speak some Spanish, and hopefully that makes people feel more comfortable as they enter the program, because that is a huge asset to be bilingual, especially in today's world.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing what you're doing, making a difference. Okay. Again, our guest has been Valerie Bowers. She is Program Coordinator, Faculty for the Criminal Justice Technology Program at Rockingham Community College. That phone number is 336-342-4261. And, of course, you can get more information on the website, and that is rockinghamcc.edu.